So if you've clicked on this video, you're probably a beginner runner or trying to get into running for the first time. In this video, I'd love to share with you how you can prevent injuries to make running a more enjoyable, fulfilling experience. If you don't already know who I am, my name is Ruben, regular dad, wannabe ultra runner, and sharing my journey here with you on these videos. So stay tuned for the end of the video to get a little training update from me. To jump right into it, number one tip to prevent running injuries is to keep the 3 2s in mind. What are the 3 2s? Too much, too soon, too fast. So typically runners get injured for one of those 3 reasons. And if you keep those reasons in mind, you can really prevent a lot of injuries from happening. So one of the 2s, too much. As you get into running at the beginning, a lot of us get excited. We see people running 100-mile weeks, 50-mile weeks, and typically those people are more advanced into running. Really, it's important not to do too much. If you put too much strain on your body right away, that can much more quickly add to injury because it's compounding every week. You're adding more and more and more, and that can get scary. The second 2 is too soon. Not only can people do too much, but if you do too soon into intensity, so maybe you're trying to get into speed work or you're trying to climb more hills, if you do that too soon, that can also lead to injury for you as a beginner runner. And the third 2 is too fast. It can be kind of discouraging sometimes to see all of these other runners running 8, 7, 6 minute per mile pace. And we can want to try to get to that level as soon as possible. I think it's more important to worry about heart rate zones, which I can talk about another time, but to stay in an easy effort instead of pushing too hard, too fast. When I first started, I was running like 11:30, 10:30 miles for months before I got to the paces that I'm running now. And so again, tip number 1 to prevent injuries for runners is to remember the 3 2s. Tip number 2 to prevent running injuries for beginners is to strength train. I think for me at least, strength training is something that I get excited about. I like spending time in the gym. I like pushing my body in that type of way versus an endurance cardio type of way. But running is very high impact, and basically you're carrying all of your body's weight every step that you take. And so if your legs aren't strong, if your core isn't strong, then it can make little things add up really fast. Again, strength training, super important. I would start with core and ab type training for strength. And then as you kind of master that and you make it consistent into your routine, I think also adding in leg specific strength training can be super useful. You don't have to deadlift 500 pounds. Really, there's a lot that you can do with a 20 or 30 pound dumbbell or kettlebell to help your legs get a lot stronger to maintain running often, whether that's daily or a few times a week. Strength training will make a huge difference. And then the third and final tip that I have for preventing injuries for runners is making sure that you're rotating your shoes. I would never do a run in the same pair of shoes twice in a row. So if you only have one pair of shoes, make sure you give your shoes time to basically recover. So if you think about it, shoes have foam at the bottom, and that foam compresses over time. And as that foam compresses, it can basically mold to your foot in a certain type of way. Basically, shoes are designed for you to use them when they're fresh. And by switching shoes frequently, that can definitely help prevent injury because your body is not in the same motion all the time in the exact same environment. It can be beneficial to switch up the environment that your legs are in, and that can definitely help prevent injuries. So I want to take a second to show you my shoe rotation. I'll take a few minutes here to talk about the shoes that I like as a regular dad. And so a lot of these shoes are budget options. And I think that's the way to do it, right? You don't need to go out and buy the latest and greatest $200 training shoe. It's better, in my opinion, to spend $75 on each shoe, get 2 of them, and rotate those every other run. I think that's a great place to start. So keep that in mind as I tell you about my shoes. So as you think about running shoes, there's daily trainers, there's long run shoes, there's speed work shoes, there's race shoes, and honestly, you could narrow that down to a bunch of different options. But really how you should think about it as a beginner is daily training shoes and speed workout shoes. You should be spending around 80% of your time in a daily trainer shoe and 20% of your time in a faster paced shoe. And same with the amount of time you're spending in each intensity. Low intensity, 80%, high intensity, 20%. And that seems to work really well for most runners. So shoe number 1 is my top recommended shoe for any runner. This is the Adidas Adizero SL2. It came out last year, and a lot of people were calling it the #1 shoe daily trainer of the year. Reason why I love this shoe is you don't notice that it's on your foot. There's nothing crazy special about it besides the fact that as soon as you put the shoe on and you start running, it doesn't feel like you're wearing a shoe, which I think is awesome. So start with the Adizero SL2. So this second shoe is another daily trainer. This is the Adizero SL1. And this shoe I found for $35 at the Adidas outlet near my house. So again, big tip, make sure you're looking for deals and find shoes that have worked well for others when they first come out, and just get the older shoe. I think it's a great option to save some money. So very similar to the SL2, except it's firmer. So if you were to have one of these, I would pick the SL2. So I have another daily trainer shoe here. This is the Nike Invincible Run 3, which is really a recovery shoe for me. I try to take it on my easiest, slowest runs after I've done a long run or a hard speed workout. And this shoe holds up great for that purpose. It's super soft. You can usually find it on a pretty good discount. So recommend this one as well. So moving on to my speed shoes. This is the Adidas Boston 10, I believe. And this is another super budget shoe that I found for, I think, $40 at the outlet of Adidas near my house. Again, great idea to find older models of shoes that have worked well for a lot of other runners. This is one of them, another great speed shoe. The second speed shoe that I have is the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4. This one is a decent speed shoe, not my favorite, but it's nice to rotate between the 2 speed shoes. This one seems to work better for shorter, faster intervals, and the Boston 10 seems to work better for longer speed intervals. Moving on to my trail shoes. This is the Nike Next Nature Juniper Trail 2. This shoe was my first trail shoe. I used it for a little bit of hiking and now a decent amount of running. It's just a great all-around shoe with decent grip and seems to have lasted a decent amount of time. The next shoe I've got here is the Salomon Ultra Glide 2. This is one of my favorite shoes of my lineup. It's got pretty good grip, a good amount of cushioning, and is a great option for most trail runs. It's not super great for technical stuff, but a great shoe. And the last shoe that I've got here is the Genesis Trail shoe from Salomon as well. This one has better grip than the Ultra Glide, not quite as much padding, but this shoe is phenomenal. Great for super technical stuff, and I will be racing my Bryce Canyon 50 miler ultramarathon in this shoe. So I also mentioned that I would be sharing a training update with you all. Today is Saturday, and will be my 4th week of hitting 50 miles of total running in the week in a row. Legs are feeling decent. I did 12 miles with 2 of my buddies, Parker and BJ, as well as my twin brothers, Jonah and Micah. It's also day 4 of 75 hard. So completed another day, feeling great. A little bit hungry is the main thing with the diet that I'm on, just a calorie deficit to try to get to 165 pounds in the next month or 6 weeks. Seems like it's going to be manageable, but we'll see. I'll keep you updated along the way. If you made it to this point in the video, I appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe to follow along the rest of my journey. Thanks for joining.